Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of highly specialized sources and give you the strategic knowledge you need fast. Today we have a custom deep dive. We're focusing exclusively on the most impactful artificial intelligence updates, all published on a single day, November 22, 2025.
And it was a day of intense operational friction. We saw the world's largest tech companies pushing these really aggressive product deployments, but that speed was just colliding head-on with some acute concerns over reliability, over infrastructure, and this intense global policy fragmentation.
So our mission today is to synthesize this highly active 24 hours. We're tracking the launch of brand new models, deep research breakthroughs, and some pretty severe infrastructure strains.
Yeah, and major geopolitical shifts, too.
Exactly, across the US, China, and India.
You can really frame this specific date, November 22nd, as a point of maximum tension. So what's new in AI today? Well, we saw a critical new model integrated into search, a massive multi-day service collapse at a major platform, and this rising global competition over who controls the code and the physical grid needed to run it all.
Okay, let's unpack this. We'll jump right into the front-end race. New products and features, the things designed to put AI directly into your hands. And the biggest headline here comes from Google.
That's right. Google unveiled Gemini 3. It's their new, large, multimodal model, and they've integrated it directly into Google Search. There's an AI mode toggle now.
An AI mode. So the company is claiming Gemini 3 is their most intelligent model yet.
They are. They're pointing to significant improvements in reasoning and coding, and especially in vision capabilities over the predecessor, Gemini 2.5.
So what's the strategic takeaway here? I mean, integrating that level of sophistication directly into search, what does that change? The Economic Times mentions it has a bespoke vision engine.
I think we need to look past the model name for a second. The fact that they are now integrating a specialized, highly efficient vision model directly into the search bar, that's the real story.
It changes what search is for.
It fundamentally changes user intent. It moves Google Search from a tool for finding text to a multimodal problem solver. It tells us that Google is committed to pushing these state-of-the-art AI capabilities to billions of users, instantly. And that just intensifies the whole AI race.
And this push isn't just software. We saw a massive physical surge today, too. Amazon, Meta, Google.
All of them. According to CNBC, they all launched new consumer AI hardware devices aimed squarely at the holiday season.
So this is big tech making a really serious attempt to move generative AI from an app you open to. An always-on hardware experience.
Exactly. An integrated, dedicated, always-on experience. We're talking Amazon Echo speakers with Alexa plus now even Meta's next-gen smart glasses, the Google Pixel 10 series. They are testing the market's appetite for this kind of seamless, embedded AI.
But they're definitely not giving these advanced tools away for free. Google also detailed new features in their Google AI Pro and Google AI Ultra subscription tiers.
Right, and the key insight from that 9 to 5 Google source is the commercialization strategy. They're offering expanded access to the really advanced models, like Gemini 3 Pro and the AI video generator Veo, but only to premium subscribers.
This tiered pricing, it really shows advanced AI is moving away from a one-size-fits-all model.
It does. But doesn't that inherently restrict access?
That's the question. What competitive advantage does this grant Google over, say, the increasingly powerful open source models that are still free?
Well, it grants them a massive advantage in professional settings. This is about establishing high-margin commercial tools for enterprise users, for power users who need reliability. But it does risk locking out smaller businesses or, academic users who can't afford that ultra tier. It essentially creates a commercial moat around their best-performing models.
Okay, let's pivot from the consumer race to the core science, the efficiency breakthroughs that are defining the ecosystem's future.
And our first item here, it involves technological sovereignty. Sberbank in Russia. They announced they're open-sourcing the weights of several flagship AI models under the MIT license.
Which models are we talking about?
Their powerful GigaChat Ultra Preview and the image and video generation model Kandinsky 5.0.
Quota.ru reported that Sberbank's senior vice president called this the largest open source project in Europe. So beyond just the scale, what's the strategic intent of open sourcing models optimized for Russian language and culture?
It's about reducing dependence. It advances Russia's own AI capabilities, and it removes proprietary barriers for Russian enterprises. It's a clear challenge to Western AI dominance. They're establishing a robust, localized ecosystem that can scale without needing translation or worrying about, potential access restrictions down the line.
And on the transparency front, Google is still investing in clarity. Their official Gemini API documentation was updated with detailed specs for Gemini 2.5 Pro.
Absolutely. The source there, Google AI for Developers, shows them detailing the model's advanced reasoning, its expanded context window, and new benchmark results. This isn't just marketing.
Right. For enterprise customers, this is essential.
It's essential. Clearer performance metrics help with implementation decisions. It boosts developer trust and, ultimately, adoption rates.
Looking further ahead, the long-term R&D is getting highly technical, but it's crucial. New research papers on RSEV are highlighting this cross-disciplinary work, linking machine learning with quantum physics and programming languages.
Yeah, and this signals a long-term focus on overcoming some fundamental computational limits. Specifically, there's new work on managing complex, non-uniform data, what they call ragged data.
Ragged data definitely sounds like jargon. For our listener, can you explain why managing that is such a key bottleneck?
Okay, so think about feeding an LLM a massive, sprawling data set. You have text documents, high-res videos, sensor readings, messy spreadsheets all mixed together. That complex, non-uniform input, that's ragged. So there's this new framework called Operon. And it's essentially a way for the system to organize and process all those different data types efficiently. It's a foundational optimization you need to build the next generation of truly massive, accurate, multimodal models.
That sets the stage perfectly for the physical battleground of AI chips and infrastructure. The scale of these models requires unprecedented power.
And this is where it gets really interesting. In the chip wars, AMD is clearly gaining significant traction. The Motley Fool reports their stock is surging, driven by these massive projections for their data center, CPU, and GPU businesses.
And the key metric here is a projected 35% compound annual growth rate, CAGR. Over the next 3 to 5 years, that's substantial.
It is, but if we look at the immense R&D budgets of competitors, especially the market leader, is this 35% growth projection sustainable?
Or is AMD just filling a temporary supply gap?
Exactly. While the competition retools its next-gen offerings, the market seems confident, but sustained profitability relies on continual innovation, not just availability.
And availability is a huge challenge, especially with energy. Analysis from Digitime Semiconductors highlights how specialized photonic computing chips are gaining traction.
This is a direct response to a massive industry problem. Photonic computing could reduce AI training energy consumption by up to 80%.
80%.
Up to 80%. That addresses one of the most pressing sustainability and, frankly, financial challenges in the industry. It makes efficient computing a necessity, not a luxury.
And that massive energy demand is reshaping traditional industry giants. An analysis from TS2.tech shows Siemens Energy positioning itself as a critical enabler of AI data center infrastructure.
Right. You wouldn't immediately think of a high-voltage grid manufacturer as an AI play, but the demand for transformers and equipment from the data center boom is driving huge orders.
Huge. Siemens just announced a massive 2.3 billion euro investment in grid manufacturing infrastructure, all through 2028. This isn't just a big order, it's a profound market pivot. These traditional industrial giants are now becoming critical bottlenecks for the AI industry's growth. It reflects real confidence in sustained AI-driven demand across Europe.
And finally, on the infrastructure front, we saw some democratization efforts. A UK-based company, NBHASH, launched a new generation of AI compute infrastructure.
This provides a much-needed alternative to the big tech hyperscalers. The Globe Newswire release says they're offering distributed GPU clusters with intelligent scheduling. They're lowering the barrier to entry by democratizing this high-performance hardware, even offering a free $20 trial credit for new users.
That brings us to our next segment. As the technology accelerates, governance is really struggling to keep pace. Let's turn to policy and geopolitical friction.
Well, the biggest policy news comes from China, according to Xinhua. The AI Plus initiative, which is aimed at promoting extensive integration of AI across all industries, is now formally written into the Communist Party's recommendations for the next 5-year plan.
So this elevates AI into a foundational economic mandate, not just a tech sector priority. The goals are aggressive. Integration across 6 key sectors by 2027.
And this is crucial because it signals systematic, state-backed application saturation. Compare this to the market-driven adoption in the U.S. China's commanding massive, targeted implementation. It's a new form of industrial competition where the government ensures deployment instead of just waiting for private industry to catch up.
And closer to home, the U.S. is seeing significant internal conflict over who should regulate AI. California's Attorney General formally opposed a provision that would undermine state authority.
Right, and at the same time, TechCrunch reports the Trump administration put a hold on a draft executive order that was intended to challenge those state laws. So you have this push and pull.
It signals a strong pushback against federal centralization.
It does. And if state laws, like those in California and Colorado, are allowed to stand, we risk a profoundly fragmented U.S. legal landscape for AI companies. I mean, just imagine trying to comply with 50 different rule sets for data use, for bias auditing, for model deployment. It complicates national operations immensely.
And speaking of friction between major powers, Al Arabia English reported that U.S. officials are internally discussing easing export controls on NVIDIA's H200 AI chips to China.
This is a classic geopolitical tightrope walk. You're balancing two powerful forces. On one side, you have economic interests. Using restrictions would be a massive revenue boost for NVIDIA.
And on the other,
You have the national security debates over technology transfer to a strategic competitor. Any change here risks reigniting the entire debate over tech protectionism.
we also saw some significant governance issues impacting the creative economy. The AI music service Udio announced updated terms. Users can no longer download music they generate.
Yeah, this came from a settlement with Universal Music, and it clearly highlights copyright governance issues. The Verge points out that the fact users are limited in what they can do with content they generated, it limits their rights to portability and ownership. It really raises major questions about the user agreement in these generative services.
And finally, The Verge also reported today that Google had to push back pretty aggressively on major data privacy rumors, denying claims that Gmail emails are used to train the Gemini AI.
Google spokesperson clarified the reports are misleading and asserted they do not use Gmail content for training Gemini. And this was a critical clarification. Maintaining user trust, especially around data privacy, is paramount.
Okay, let's move to enterprise adoption, funding, and critical incidents. It's clear India is emerging as a major global AI services player.
Absolutely. Icarus Capital forecasts that AI-led projects will drive a massive 20% of India's IT export revenue by 2030.
And that forecast is backed by serious infrastructure and capital. TechGig highlights 7 large AI alliances in India. We're talking about Google's $15 billion plan to build the country's first AI hub and Microsoft's $3 billion India AI skills program.
These massive foreign-local collaborations will bring tens of billions of dollars and will train millions in AI skills. It's validating India's role in transforming global delivery models.
In the startup world, Gensburg secured a huge $275 million Series B round backed by Launchy Ventures.
And their goal, according to the AI Insider, is explicit. Boost knowledge worker productivity by 50%. We're seeing major capital flowing into what they call agentic AI tool software that takes on complex multi-step tasks autonomously.
The most surprising adoption story, though, involves conflict. North Carolina Health News detailed this AI versus AI dynamic in the U.S. healthcare system.
It sounds like we've reached peak algorithmic irony.
It really does.
And
Patients and providers are now deploying AI bots to challenge AI-powered insurance claim denials.
So patients need an AI lawyer just to get their medical claims processed, because insurers are using these opaque algorithms to deny them. It's a direct algorithmic arms race. These defense bots aim to empower users against these opaque decisions, and they could reshape the trillion-dollar U.S. healthcare administration market.
But the final story of the day brings us back to friction and fragility. OpenAI suffered a critical incident affecting millions of users.
Yeah, a really big one. Their status page reported elevated errors hitting their code generation model, Codex. And then users reported a persistent second wave outage affecting the entire ChatGPT platform for over 48 hours.
Over 48 hours.
Yes, and this incident is just a stark reminder of reliability challenges and platform fragility. When enterprise workflows across the globe depend on a single centralized vendor, a multi-day outage translates directly into stalled developer productivity. It impacts revenue and operations for millions.
So what does this all mean? Today's deep dive shows a world accelerating on 2 fronts. You have the relentless deployment of powerful new models like Gemini 3, and this aggressive, state-mandated push for industrial AI from China. But that scale is constantly being undermined by fragility, like the OpenAI outages and the policy fragmentation we saw in the U.S.
Exactly. And before we wrap up, let's highlight a few tools and numbers you can act on today.
Okay, first, on the learning front, check out the OpenAI Academy. It's a new platform designed to equip users with the knowledge and skills to use AI effectively. They have workshops, digital content, and they're planning certification pilots for late 2025 or early 2026.
And second, for developers looking for radical efficiency gains, look into RapidFire AI. Its integration into the Hugging Face TRL library accelerates large language model fine-tuning and post-training experiments. It really democratizes advanced model customization.
Let's run the numbers of the day. Our first number is 2027.
That's China's aggressive target year for achieving extensive, in-depth AI integration across 6 key industrial sectors via their AI Plus initiative.
And the second number is 1624x.
That's the magnitude of throughput acceleration achieved in LLM fine-tuning experiments because of that new rapid-fire AI integration. That's just a staggering efficiency gain.
And that tension between state-mandated scale and radical technical efficiency, that's what's defining the industry right now.
Exactly. The winners in this race will ultimately be those who can harness those massive efficiency breakthroughs, like that 1624x speedup, while also ensuring the operational stability that large enterprises clearly lack today, as we saw with the OpenAI incident. So the key question for you to consider is this: which factor-mandated large-scale deployment or radical internal efficiency gains will prove to be the most decisive competitive advantage by 2030?